Good morning, children. Today we are discussing about reading of thematic maps. In earlier class you learned, in even previous classes also you learned about these maps. But little continuation of that. Reading of thematic maps. What is thematic map? A map is showing and telling only one concept, any one concept, like what is the hilly areas of that particular area, or what are the plains in that particular area. Like that, it shows the economic activities of the people, or language, or population of that particular area, geographical area. This all shows only in one map, that is called thematic map. So you write the definition about that. So usually a map focuses only on one aspect, Such maps are called thematic maps. So what are these maps? Maps can show usually a map focuses only on one aspect. Such maps are called thematic maps. So what is that one aspect? One aspect means it shows different maybe terrain. India is a different relief features are there. We have in India, we have plains are there, plateaus are there, mountains are there, isn't it? Plains, plateaus, mountains, ocean basins and deserts, like the different relief forms are there in India. So it will be showing only one particular thing. For example, the soils of a particular area, or population of particular area, geographical area, or whether this land is land used by agriculture or commercial crops, or it is for water reservoirs, or it's a residential purpose they are making, they are using the land. Such only one aspect it shows, that maps are called thematic maps. So such maps or land use map shows people use that land to only for pastures and fertilizers, using that land, and some land is organic agriculture, and some lands are residential area. Residential area means places, houses, markets, and different worships of the places of worships. And all these are all shows one residential area, colonies, people are together, a community, like that they are showing such only particular maps. Then those are called thematic maps. So for example, some part of lands they use what do you call markets, and there's some land they use for water reservoirs, and some lands are barren lands, and some are for using for burial grounds, or some are using only commercial crops, using only agricultural crops, like that in different places, different aspects will be there. So such maps are, telling about such maps are called thematic maps. So here there are some given below this color code used in a represent to land cover and land use. So how can we know this? See, this is the thing, color and land cover, land use. For example, in that particular thematic map, they shows green, then it is called forest. When it is a light green, then they are called grasslands. If it is a brown, land used for agriculture. If it is a yellow, then cropped area, whatever crops raising the crops. And dark grey are for mountains, light grey for hills, and yellow for plateaus and swamps, and light red for wastelands, and light blue for tanks, rivers, canals, wells, etc. And dark blue is seas and oceans. And white, a place where minerals are available, because white totally completely using for minerals, and minerals are available. Then black is for boundaries, and sometimes they show capitals and all with that black thing. And for next is make a population map. Make a population. How can we show a population map? So generally population maps are maps they are used. For example, draw a sketch map of your school. For your school, you make a map. So how much land you are taking, and how many benches for each class. How much you will use for one classroom, how much area we have to take. These are all using the things and using that map. Then that is called, you can draw a sketch of map. And next, population can also be shown on through shades. And density of population. Here there is before knowing the population map, you should know about the density of population. What is the definition of density of the population? A simple example I will tell you. See, generally, what is the density? What is the density of population? For example, in one classroom, you people are 30 members are there and 10 benches are there. Then how we will say in each bench 3 members you can sit. So the particular density of that particular bench is called density of the population of that bench. So 3 members you are sitting. For example, when you are merging the other class with the 30 members along with the same class, you are sitting. Then 2 more members will be added in that particular bench. So the density of the bench is increasing, isn't it? Instead of 3 members sitting, there are sitting 5 members in that particular time. So the density of population is increasing. So here, what is the density of population means? There is a definition that population density is the number of individuals. You can write down the number of individuals per unit geographic area, per unit geographic area. For example, number of square meters per hectare or per square per hectare, like that. So how many people are staying in that particular geographical area? Highest density of population is different, density of population is different. Density is nothing but thick. More population in one particular place. See, in India, all over India, the population is not same. In some areas it is density of population is more, and some areas density is very less. If you take Delhi, the density of the population is more there, and in somewhere in Bihar it is less. Like that, the density of population is depends upon that area, availability of resources of that particular areas, and all comes considered. So here, if you see Bangladesh, the population density is more. In Bangladesh, 1252 per square kilometer. In Bangladesh, the same thing you see in Mongolia. In Mongolia country, the density of population 1.974 per square kilometer. People per square kilometer. That means the density of the population is very less in Mongolia and more in Bangladesh. Like that about density of population. This is the definition. And next we will show the conventional symbols. Before going to conventional symbols, we will go to thematic maps. The thematic maps are different. See, the Telangana relief and drainage. See, whatever this is all the relief and drainage of that particular areas. That means it is showing the particular only relief and drainage. That means water resources only showing here in this particular map. And this particular map, see here also relief and drainage, and here it shows annual rainfall. So here in this map, what it is showing, high rainfall and normal rainfall it is showing in this map. That means only one aspect it is showing in this thematic map. Telangana mean annual rainfall is whatever shading. That means it shows the shading part is more, mean high rainfall, and remaining all normal rainfall. You take Adilabad, Komarambi, Manchiryal, Jaishankar, Warangal, Bhadragiri, Khammam, Bhadradri. These are all high rainfall. Okay, so like that one aspect only it is showing. Even in the soils, for example, you take soils also, Telangana soils. See, Adilabad, Nirmal. These are all red soils are the right part, and this whatever the shaded part is called black soil, black rigger soil. It is more good for the cotton irrigation, isn't it? Okay, like that. Different soils are there. And next we will go to conventional symbols. So there are different conventional symbols. What is meant by conventional symbols? By map makers, this is all for you. It's a just I am showing I am telling about the whatever part in the earlier you learned, that only I am repeating in the first lesson, same class. What are the conventional symbols? Conventional symbols. Generally, for everything, even illiterate also can easily understand with the symbols. For example, when you are crossing the road, there will be a zebra crossing. So you can identify that. When you go on that zebra crossing, you don't have any problem, because everybody will stop when you are crossing the zebra line. Like that, every symbol it indicates something, isn't it? For example, there is a for hospital they show like this, isn't it? And on the ambulance it shows like this. That means what it is showing an indication. Like that, even in the maps also, everything shows some where are the terrains, where are the hilly rocks and all. It shows with the symbols. Children, see this. Conventional symbols, which map makers usually will use their own symbols or used conventionally. Conventionally means continuously by most map makers. Map makers mostly usually use their symbols. That is the standard map. That is the standard. Conventionally they started that. It's a standard symbols. So by seeing that you can understand all the things. You have seen so many things when you are going to the school, number of schools in one area, then they will have a children, one boy, one girl picture will be there. So by seeing that you can understand that it's a school zone. That means a number of few schools are at a place. Like that, many things. When you are going a petrol bunk picture will be there. So you can identify easily, yes, there is a petrol bunk nearby, isn't it? Like that, a number of indication. That means by seeing the picture you can understand what are available there. So conventional symbols also, it is only for using on the maps. On the maps, we can easily understand by seeing that map which are the terrain places, which are the hilly, which are the seas, which are the oceans. That we can easily identify by that. See, some few things I will explain here, the conventional symbols. These symbols on the maps can identify the roads and metal roads. Okay, and here like this, if anything is there, they are the something is the tanks, small ponds and all. If are there, the small ponds are there, the picture will be there on the map like this. And tombs and churches. Tombs, graveyards, churches. Okay. And these are the symbols for rivers. Rivers they shows like this. This is the indication for rivers. And delta areas are like this. And if it is capital city, then they show like this in a black dot capital. These are the airlines. Then aeroplane picture will be there. Like that, they are symbols, conventional symbols, which map makers usually will use their own symbols conventionally. Those are called conventional symbols. Then we go to next thing, Representation of relief features in the contour lines. You are all know what are contour lines. In the previously you learned about this. So relief features generally means the high and low areas of the surface of the earth. The main relief features are hills, valleys, okay, and plateaus, rivers, river basins, rocky basins and sandy places. We cannot show all these things on the on the map, because map is a flat map. Its surface is smooth. Then how can we show that? So for that reason, contour lines are usually drawn in a fixed intervals of height of 20 meters and 30 meters or 50 meters and 100 meters. Uniform contour intervals is maintained between these maps. These are all you learned the contour lines about previous classes. And next is atlas. What is that? Next one is atlas. What is meant by atlas? Children, tell me what is meant by atlas. Atlas is nothing but a collection of maps. What is that? A collection of maps. A collection of maps is called, the book is called atlas. What is it? Atlas. Atlas means a collection of maps. So for example, see this school atlas. Children generally, every children from 8th, 9th and 10th classes, you should carry this every day to the school and you just check it whenever you will free. You just see it. What is it? What are the contents? How the index has written. Then you will have more knowledge with this. So this is the school atlas. Okay. In the school atlas, everything will be there. All the political maps, all the thematic maps, okay, and what do you call it? World map and every continent map. For example, you take this, see this Europe map, Africa, everything you will show in the political maps and climatic maps, thematic maps, political maps and physical maps. You can show different regions. See, this is the overall globe. Here there are 7 continents. This is North America and South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia and Antarctica. So like this you can show many things. You can see many things in the atlas. If you want to go somewhere, you can see the atlas. How much time you can, what is the scale they have given, how much time is there to go. Everything by seeing the thematic maps. And in India roads and waterways, and India industrial and mineral regions. Okay, and what are the cash crops and what are the commercial crops in India? You know what are the difference between cash and agricultural crops? Cash and commercial crops and cash and agricultural crops. Agricultural crops means food crops. Most of the food raising crops are called agricultural crops. And cash crops and commercial crops means these are the commercial crops. That means you can make out with the business. We cannot eat that cash crops. So for example, you take a tobacco, turmeric, okay, cotton, jute, okay, and sugar industry. These are all comes under agriculture, wheat, rice means paddy, wheat, rice, paddy, sugar. These are all comes under agriculture crops. Tobacco, turmeric, cotton, jute and some beverage crops. There are some beverage crops. What are the beverage crops? Beverage crops means those crops can give the drinks. What are the crops you can get drink? Coffee, tea, okay, and coffee, tea, these are all beverage crops. These are all comes under from coffee, tea comes from the agriculture products only, isn't it? So cash crops, food crops, power projects where the dams are constructed, and Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, okay, and Nizam Sagar Dam, and Kudamkulam projects, nuclear power plants, and so many things. These are all you can see in the power projects. These are all you can see in this atlas. So what is atlas? Atlas is a collection of many more maps is called atlas. Okay. Next we go to Next we'll go to aerial photography. What is meant by aerial photography? See children, aerial photography. Generally aerial means it's not a map. Photography. This aerial photography means it's not a map, but it's a technique of taking photograph the ground from the elevated position. That means from very much height you will take a photograph. How you will take a photograph from very height? Like with the helicopters, with the helipads, and with the hot balloons. With that we can take a photograph. Okay, that is aerial photograph. Sometimes when it will be useful. For example, when the weather condition is not good, and so there are a lot of floods, so people unable to go on the roads, then at that time government will go and military can take the helicopters and take pictures, and sometimes from there they will give help to the people whoever suffering with suffering in the water and all. So in the floods time, in the any tsunamis time, or any earthquakes time, this aerial photography is very much useful. But it's a photography, it's not a map. Then we'll go to satellite imagery. So sometimes satellite pictures are also more useful. Satellite imaginaries are the photographs of the earth taken by the artificial satellites launched into the space. These are used many ways. How map making, planning, and meteorology. Meteorology department means weather reports. How we will get weather reports every day? From in Tirumala the weather is like this, in Hyderabad weather is like this. How 34 degrees centigrade maximum and minimum. How can we say that? These are all with the meteorology department only, with the space photos. The photographs are taken from the earth and taken by the artificial satellites. We sent artificial satellites on the space. That satellites will take these photographs. So with that photographs we can plan out many things, meteorology, forest, how many forests are there, if any war is happening, how can we escape from that, those are all we can do it. So this is about the aerial photography, satellite imagery. Okay children, I hope everyone understood this. Next I will give some notes, I will send that notes to you. Thank you children.